All right, welcome to this morning's remedial improvement performance plan. Folks, we've got quite the treat for you as we've got one of the top sales managers on the Dreammakers team, Miss Mekayla Mobley. She's going to walk us through, probably run us through when it comes to the door approach mastery with all lead types. So if you are that person right now, that agent that's saying to yourself, you know what, I only like working bronze leads. I only like working Facebook leads or platinum leads. Well, guess what? We're about to blow your mind because we've always wanted every single agent on this team to do what? To be well-rounded. It's important to be well-rounded versus a lead snob. So folks, let's dive in. Mekayla, what are you most excited about today?
Yeah, so I'm excited just because the door approach is the number one thing that you have to master, because if you cannot get into doors, you're not going to be able to make sales. So the door approach literally is the key to success. So that is the number one thing that you have to master. If you can get into the door, you can make your way through a presentation, you can make a sale. But if you cannot get into a door, you're not going to be able to make sales. So let's dive into door approach mastery with all lead types. So for starters, we're going to start out with leads. So we all know a lead is literally just an excuse to be at the door. And we have many different types of leads available. So, on Opt, we have check leads, which are the checks that at the top it says, please cash this check if you wish to receive information on dental, vision, hearing, state-regulated life insurance programs. And then people tear that check off and cash it. And then that's when it comes back in. So if you're scared of check leads because it doesn't have the written information, the seniors have that at their house. They had to tear the check off of that paper to be able to cash it to where you received it back to have that information. Data leads, that is the type of lead that is mailed out but was never sent back. So that's okay. That's your neighbors. That is people on T65. That's people on Fast People Search, Nuber. Those are neighbor knocks, running the T. It's just a great filler. Like Ashley's writing, they're 50 cents and it's the same card that's mailed out to everybody, but maybe it didn't get returned in that batch. I've got data leads of leads that I've had filled out. So it's the exact same people when it comes to leads. They are all the same people. Dental leads are, the hand filled out leads that most people love the most, that has, name, age, address, date of birth, spouse information, and it talks about the dental program, hearing, vision, prescription savings plans, as well as life insurance. Then we have the digital lead. Digital lead is the one that's filled out online. We have two different types now. We have a regular digital and a preferred digital. They're pretty much equal, except the preferred digital just has a little bit more information. But it's just a lead that was filled out online. A lot of our seniors, especially the younger ones in the 50s, they are very computer smart. They're they're on social media. They're on Facebook. They're browsing the internet. That's where they fill out these digital leads. Then we have Facebook leads that Adam Momeyer does. The Facebook leads are an ad that is posted on Facebook. So we all know if you go to Google and you're Googling about something, when you go back to Facebook and start to scroll, you start to see ads for that, right? Because the internet on your phone, it talks to itself. So if someone's been looking up life insurance and they go back to Facebook, that ad's going to pop up. They fill it out. There's a question that you get to pick. They have to answer that question. These are people looking for state-regulated burial plans, life insurance. We have memorial leads. They're very similar to dental leads, but they don't mention that prescription savings program. It's just the memorial guide, and then the state-regulated life insurance programs. And then Mutual of Omaha leads. That is a site that you can go through Mutual of Omaha and actually purchase like their data of leads. It has clients' names, addresses, and phone numbers. And the more you get, the cheaper they are. I've heard people got 1,200 leads for like $10. No, not $10, like $100. It's very cheap. I personally have never worked them, but I do have people on my team that have, and they've had great success. But the reason they have great success is because a lead is just an excuse to be at the door. Doesn't matter how you get your leads. If you're getting them from Opt, if you're getting them from Mutual of Omaha, if you're taking the extra time to look up your free leads through Fast People Search, Nuber, or Voter Records, they are all the same. It's all the same. All right, so let's dive into free leads just real quick. We have fastpeoplesearch.com. That's where you can type in someone's name. Say you have a lead that's the wrong address. You can type that person's name and their zip code in and find out their new address. Nuber is phenomenal because if you're on a street, when you go to newber.com, you can actually type in an address and then look up people on that same street. You just have to get on there and play with it, familiarize yourself with it. Same thing with voter records. It's going to show people's ages and their name and their address. White pages is great if you're trying to figure out who lives at a house that may look like a good potential. Maybe they have a ramp or the thank you Jesus sign or a lot of flowers in their yard. That's what Trisha always looks for when she does her neighbor knocks. If you want to know the name, that's a great way to look it up. Type the address in white pages. Also, your referrals, those are your free leads. When you go in and help a senior and do a great job, they may give you a few people to go see. Those are free leads. Then you got the T65.app. It is not an app. You can use the actual browser and it's free. And then running the T. So what is running the T? When you go to knock a lead, you're looking at the house. You got a house to the right and a house to the left. You knock both those doors. My favorite thing to do if I'm scared to neighbor knock, I'll knock the wrong house on purpose. Because then you're like, oh my gosh, you're not married. I am so sorry. I can't read numbers, right? Run the T. They're the exact same people as your lead because all leads are just an excuse to be at the door. So make an excuse to be at the door. Knock the wrong door. Do your neighbor knock. So I just wanted to go over the different lead types available. And you guys, you can get a variety of these free and, the ones that we pay for. But one thing that's really important when it comes to leads is do not starve your business. This is how you're going to make your money. So do not be afraid to invest. The average return for the Dreammakers team is about $10 per dollar spent. So keep that in mind. You may have a couple no's on $3 leads or $5 leads. That's okay. It's going to come. It's a proven system. As long as you know your system, you know your presentation, and you're confident in it, you will close and you will make money. But number one, you got to be able to get into the house. So let's dive into the door approach.
And, let me just say this too, Mekayla, just kind of cutting in here, is that if you guys are looking at this screen right now, and if you have, or if you are that person that's saying to yourself, well, when I go out there, nobody's home. Or when I go out there, I can't seem to find, a senior that's available. And here's the thing is that it's not about being a better agent. You've got to do something different in order to get a different result. I've heard it so many times. Oh, I got to be a better leader. I got to be a better agent. Hey, listen, if you're not getting the result that you want and you suck potentially when it comes to being out there on the field, guess what? If you're trying to be better at being suckier, guess what? That doesn't give you any results. So therefore, you've got to do something different. Switch it up. I remember JJ last week, he said, you know what? I just wanted to get out of this zip code, right? So, hey, look, if you had a plan, sometimes, again, we've got a strategy. We've got a plan that we're going to stay in this zip code. It's okay to switch it up a little bit, right? Your day sometimes is not going to go to plan, but we trust it. We trust the system. Look at all these plethora of lead resources that are at your fingertips that you didn't physically have to go drop an ad, pay for an ad, wait for an ad, and wait for leads to come in. They're already here. Like, how awesome is that? So let's talk about before you knock. Mekayla, let's go.
Yes. All right. So before you knock, all right. So when it comes to getting ready to go knock the door, just a few key things that you need to know to be prepared. Number one, you have to be confident in your approach. And what I mean by that is you don't want to be stumbling. You want to know what you're going to say when you get to that door and have a few objection knockers in your back pocket so that you can knock out anything that comes in your way. Right? And you want to be confident in it. Confidence is key. Our seniors are street smart. They can read if you are scared. They can read if you're confident. So you want to make sure that you're confident in your approach. Also, you want to be dressed for success. When you go out in the field, you want to look nice. Not that you want to look dressed up or all made up, dolled up, nothing like that, but you do want to look presentable, right? You want to have on maybe your NASB polo or a nicer shirt. Dark jeans or khaki pants or black pants, sandals, you want to look presentable. You don't want to look like you just rolled out of bed. You want to brush your hair that morning, brush your teeth, if you wear makeup, put on a little bit of makeup, because you want to look presentable and make sure you feel good, right? Because if you don't feel confident in what you're wearing, you're not going to be confident in your door approach or anything else. It'll mess with your day, right? Messes with your head. At least it does for me. So you want to make sure that you're dressed for success every single day. You look presentable. You wouldn't roll into the office wearing a wrinkled up t-shirt and holy jeans, right? You want to look presentable. Next thing, you want to have your lanyard on. That is your identifier, and it's a great way to build that confidence. So when you're at the door and you're doing your approach, you can show Miss Johnson your license right away, right? You want to have that lanyard on. You also want to have a smile on your face. Seniors are going to do what you do. So if you're smiling, they're going to smile back, right? Next thing, iPad in hand with open body language. You don't want to be all balled up at the door. You want to be open body language. I always stand with my iPad open and my other arm maybe on my hip or down by my side. I'm never cross-armed or nothing. Having open, welcoming body language. When you go to knock, you knock on that door, maybe it's a trailer and the steps are right there at the door, right? There's really not a top step. You want to knock on that door and take a step back. That way, when they come to the door, they can actually see you and it's not just your face right at their peephole, So you want to take a step back, back away from the door and maintain that open body language. You also want to call their name. If you have the lead with their name on it, you want to call out their name because that makes them think, oh, this person knocking knows me. People come to my door and knock and I don't know who they are. I'm not letting them in. But if they call my name, I probably would because I'd be like, oh, they know who I am, right? And you also want to wave at windows, especially if you see stuff moving, the blinds moving, they're peeping out the window to see who's there. So you want to be waving, calling out their name. Don't be afraid to do it. I do it every time I knock on the door. Mary, hey, Mary. I may look crazy, but it works. You got to call out the client's name. So those are just a few key things for before you knock. You got to be confident, dress for success, lanyard on, open body language. You want to smile. And make sure when you knock, you take a step back. That way you're not right there at the door and they can actually get the door open. All right, so let's dive into the actual.
Mekayla, with you just talking, I am so excited that when Sally and Sophia turn into the teenage years, okay? Because I could just see you being that mom when they come downstairs for school. Oh, no, honey, you are not wearing those holy jeans. I don't think so. You better have a smile on your face. Let's go, right? Oh, that's awesome. And I just love it. So much conviction because it's true. When you dress good, you feel good, right? When you feel good, you look good. All right. So it goes hand in hand there. Let's go ahead and go to the next one. Let's kind of dive into that door approach as to what's really the word technology or the word technicality of what we're actually doing at the door.
Yeah. So, the door approach is broken down into 4 A's. So number 1 is you want to announce who you are. Hey, I'm Mekayla from Senior Benefits down the road. You got to announce who you are. And then you also want to apologize. This puts their guard down when you say, so sorry to catch you off guard, or so sorry I haven't come to see you sooner. As soon as you apologize, that's going to take their guard down. And whichever way you feel, so sorry to catch you off guard, or so sorry I haven't come and seen you sooner. I use them interchangeably. The next one is you want to assign. I'm here to go over the 2023 state regulated benefits that you requested. That way you're assigning it back to them, the reason that you're there. I'm here to go over the 2023 state regulated benefits that you requested. And then you're going to assume, and this is the key, your door approach, you want to be quick with it. And you want to be able to assume it because you don't want to wait for a yes or a no because that kills, just like time kills a sale, right? Time kills your approach too. So I'm here to go over the 2023 state regulated benefits you requested. Let me go grab your folder and turn my car off. I'll be right back. And you're turning to walk away. You're not waiting for a yes or a no. You were going back to your car, right? With a sense of urgency. So these are the 4 A's that you have to go through when you go through your door approach. You announce who you are, apologize. You want to assign it back to them and assume your way in. You're not asking, you are assuming. So when it comes to knowing your approach, you want to have it down pat. I say the same thing every door with just a little bit of interchange in it, depending upon the lead type. So let's go through the approach. Mary, hey Mary, so sorry to catch you off guard. I'm Mekayla, local benefits coordinator by the state, showing my license. I'm here to go over the 2023 state regulated benefits that you requested. Let me run grab your folder and I'll be right back. And I'm turning and I'm walking away because like I said, time kills the approach, same way time kills a sale. So you're not going to wait for a yes or a no. You want to be like in a hurry. You got a lot of people to see. Miss Johnson's got a lot to do today. You got to have pep in your step, and you're creating that urgency from the get-go. When you turn, and you're not running back to your car, but you are walking with a purpose. So you want to kind of do, Ashley brought up the grab, drop, go method. And this is really great because you're going to go grab the information, drop it off with you, go over it with you, and then I'll get you checked off the list. So you're going to grab, drop, go. Have a sense of urgency about it. So when it comes to the door approach, like I said, you're assuming your way in. You're not sitting there waiting for Miss Johnson to say yes. I prefer to leave my stuff in my car because that gives me an escape. There are some agents that, you know, they'll turn their car off, they'll take their stuff up to the door, and that's fine if you're comfortable that way and your door approach is, you know, you're getting in at least 50% of your doors, that's okay. But I prefer to be able to go back to my car because it gives me an escape, and it gets me away from that awkward silence that can be there because you did catch Miss Johnson off guard. And it eliminates the time for her to think of a reason why not to let you in. So running back to my car, grabbing my stuff, going to turn it off and come right back. So let's break down just a few different approaches. So let's say you don't have a name. Well, it's going to, you know, mimic the same type of approach that you do with a name. You're just taking out, calling Miss Mary, right? So you're just going to introduce yourself first. Hey, I'm Mekayla, local benefits coordinator, licensed by the state. Show my lanyard. I'm the lucky one that got assigned in this area to go over the 2023 state regulated benefits with you. Let me go grab your folder. I'll be right back. Turning and walking away. You're assuming you're already in and that this client already has a folder. You're not going to have their name. And you don't even technically have to ask for their name because when you go into that house, you're going to become a detective, right? When you sit down at their table, there's typically medication bottles, there's mail. You can get their name off of anything in there if you don't want to have to ask for it, right? That way it seems like you're there on purpose. So you don't have to have the name to do the approach. You just take out calling their name. And you just say, hey, I'm Mekayla, local benefits coordinator, licensed by the state. I'm the lucky one that got assigned to the area, here to go over your 2023 state regulated benefits with you. Let me run grab your folder and I'll be right back. So like I said, it mimics the same thing. You're just interchanging a few things. You're not going to be calling out their name. So let's dive into the digital and Facebook lead approach. This is the only leads that I recommend mentioning life insurance at the door, just because that can be a hit or miss, just because seniors don't know our true intentions yet, right? We're there to make a friend feel a need. So when it comes to digital and Facebook lead approach, you know, I do mention that final expense because that's what they filled it out for on Facebook. Or on the website that they filled in the information for the digital. So when it comes to that lead approach, you know, I'm going to say, Mary, hey, Mary, so sorry to catch you off guard. I'm Mekayla, local benefits coordinator, licensed by the state, here to go over your 2023 state regulated benefits and final expense plans that you requested. Let me run grab your folder and I'll be right back. And I like to use final expense plans over life insurance just because it does seem less threatening. Because a lot of times seniors will say, oh, I wanted a burial plan, or I wanted a cremation plan, or I wanted life insurance, and final expense just covers all of that versus just one. So that's when it comes to the digital Facebook lead approach. And I do mention that final expense just because that is what they filled it out for. Now, let's go over to what can be the hard part, which is the objection. So let's talk about some objection stoppers. And you really want to get a few of these in your back pocket because you want to be quick with these. 9 times out of 10, when you get an objection at the door, it is just a smoke screen. They don't know why you're there. They're confused. You caught them off guard. So they throw up anything that they can think of to maybe stop you from coming in just because they are confused. So literally any objection you get, you can use one of these 4 to overcome that objection. So if you can master these to be quick with these, you can overcome any objection. And actually, if you want to throw some objections at me in a few minutes, you know, like I'll show you, these are interchangeable and you can use them with any situation.
Heck yeah, let's do this.
Let's go through them first. All right. So first one is, I love this one. I use it all the time. Great, Miss Johnson. That's exactly why they sent me. I don't care what they say. They have Medicare, they have Medicaid, they're VA. Great, Miss Johnson. That's exactly why they sent me. Let me go grab your folder. I'll be right back. Don't care what it is. Don't even care if it pertains to me. She had surgery last week. Great, Ms. Johnson. That's why they sent me. Let me go grab your folder. I'll be right back. That's my go-to. That's my favorite one. And you want to be quick with these so that you can overcome those objections when you're walking back to your car to go ahead and grab that folder because you've assumed your way in. All right, the next one is we fill the gaps where Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security fall short. So if they're asking, what is this about? Well, Ms. Johnson, we fill the gaps where Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security fall short. Let me go grab your folder. I'll be right back. That's it. That's exactly what we do. We fill the gaps where Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security fall short. That is truly what we do. They don't pay out for a death benefit. That's where we come in. You know, some people have high prescription costs. That's where we come in. Dental discount card. That's where we come in. So we help fill the gaps where Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security fall short. And then the next one is, someone says, I don't have time. That's fine, Ms. Johnson. Give me just a few minutes to go over this information with you so that I can get you marked off the list so that home office knows I'm doing my job, right? That's it. Walking back in my car, getting your folder. I'll be right back, Ms. Johnson. And then the last one is, especially if they're younger and they may think, oh, well, I'm not on Medicare, Medicaid. I don't need any of that. That's fine, Ms. Johnson. This information you may need now or you may need later. Either way, give me just a few minutes to go through this with you so that you're going to have it when you need it most, as well as my contact information. And I'm referring back to my lanyard with my business card on the other side, moving forward. And I'm going to go back and get that folder and go back in. So this information you may need now or you may need later. Either way, give me just a few minutes so that we can go through it and make sure that you have everything you need and you have my contact information moving forward. So those are just a few power phrases when it comes to objections, and you want to have these in your back pocket and you want to be quick with them. You know, your first few door approaches, you get caught off guard and you freeze. And that's literally, like Jordan says, just like saying a cuss word, right? When you freeze. So you've got to have these kind of like second knowledge. You want to be able to know them and pop them off at any time, these objection power phrases. All right, Ashley, you want to throw some objections at me?
Yeah, man, let's do this. All right. So you do the door approach. Hey, listen, I'm not interested.
Oh, Ms. Johnson, you know what? That's fine. I completely understand. But listen, this information, you may not need it right now, but you may need it later. So give me just a few minutes to go through this with you so that you're going to have it when you need it most, as well as my contact information moving forward. I'll be right back.
Excellent. Okay, I got that. All right, let's do another one. Hey, let's see here. Well, my husband isn't home, so but he'll be back later. Is that something that we can do now, or what do we do?
Absolutely, Ms. Johnson. So here's what we'll do. I'm going to go grab this folder. We're going to go through this information. And if I need to come back and go over it with him as well when he gets home, I'll be back. And the reason why I say this, I hear all the time, well, the spouse wasn't there, or, they wanted me to come back later. You want to get in that house before that husband comes home and the wife says, oh, some lady stopped by. He didn't meet you. He didn't see you. He didn't see that you had your license. And he's going to say, oh, I don't want her to come back. So you may not get back in that door. So you want to go ahead and start that connection with that wife, even though you may have to go back again later to help that husband, but you've already established yourself in that house and with that connection. So you want to go ahead and get into that house. We always say if you didn't close the first time you were there, you're more than likely not going to close. Very true. You want to go ahead and get in that house, establish that connection, get a read on things. And then if you have to come back when the husband's there, you go back, or maybe you're still there when he comes home.
That's right.
So you want to go ahead and get through that and get in that house.
So here we go. Here's the last objection. You ready? So, hey, listen, I think one of your agents was just here 2 weeks ago and they took great care of me.
That is phenomenal. I'm so glad that they were here. That's probably why they sent me. They might have missed something. Let me run to my car and get a folder real quick so that we can go over this information and I can leave you my contact information moving forward.
Good gracious. You guys, if you didn't learn the nuggets, the wisdom bombs that Mekayla was throwing out today, you are missing out. This is why it is so important to master your door approach, but not just with one lead type, it's with all lead types. Thank you, Mekayla, folks. Let's make it a great day. NASB Madness is underway. Let's go. Appreciate you guys.